first, the frozen banana leaf. They say as long as it's frozen, you don't have to do this step, but I do it anyway. I just put it in there for like 2 minutes. And it's nice and pliable. It's ready. Now just wiping it dry, then let's get cooking. Starting off with cooking my bacon because I need to render that fat and crisp up that bacon. Now removing it and setting it aside. Now usually I use chicken thighs for this, but all I had was drumsticks, but that'll work. So I seasoned them with basic seasonings. Now I'm searing it in that bacon fat, not cooking it all the way through, just giving it a nice brown to extract all that flavor. Now removing it after cooking it for about 1.5 minutes on each side on high heat. Placing it back into the container that I took it out because it is completely raw on the inside. And after removing my chicken, in goes 1 diced large yellow onion and 1 head of garlic. I had to be really careful not to put in those peppers. We all know that's for the red side. And after cooking that down until they become translucent and fragrant, I'm creating a well in the middle, placing that chicken right back into the pot. And filling the pot with just enough water to cover about 1/4 inch over the chicken. Now seasoning with about 3 tablespoons of chicken bouillon and the basic seasonings to taste. Now placing over that lid and letting it cook all the way until that chicken is cooked all the way through. Now just removing the chicken so I can allow it to cool to the bone and chop it up. Now here's where the lazy part begins. Guys, I'm not about to do 2 separate pots of everything I just did. So I did it in 1 large pot and I'm dividing my red and white into 2 pots. Now this is where the real fun begins. I'm using a whole packet of Mamacita chote powder. I know, seeds, but we're going lazy, right? And don't hate, but I like this stuff. And to that, I'm just adding a few tablespoons at a time to create a paste so it doesn't have a hard time dissolving in all that liquid. Now double checking my seasonings, and as you can see, I really like black pepper. Now, normally for this step here, the red side, we'd use only maseca or masa corn flour, and although I love its flavor, the velvety texture it provides, I love the texture of cream of rice as well. So to every 1 cup of masa, I add 1/4 cup of cream of rice. I mean, what can I say, guys? I'm a Guam girl. Rice is life. Now, once it's nice and smooth with your heat set to medium, in goes a few tablespoons of a cornstarch slurry. This I had prepared by combining 1/4 cup of cornstarch to 1/2 cup of water. Now, you don't need too much, just enough to bring it all together come time to steam. Now, just add in 1/2 of that crispy bacon, 1/2 of however much green onions you like, and 1/2 of that chopped chicken, and combine all those ingredients and set it aside because we're moving on to the more mild side of things, but just as delicious. For the other 1/2, I'm adding an additional tablespoon of chicken bouillon and again adding additional basic seasonings to taste. Now, once the broth comes to a boil, reducing heat to medium and quickly whisking in 1 box of cream of rice. But be sure to look at the consistency and that it matches what you see on screen. That'll tell you if you need more or less. Now, adding a few tablespoons of the remaining of that cornstarch slurry. Now turn off your heat and immediately pour in 1/2 cup of coconut milk for that unbelievable extra creaminess, and no, it will not leave your dish tasting like coconut, I promise. Now in with the remaining bacon and green onions and of course that chopped chicken. And guys, I think we're there. Give this a mix and of course, you know I'm gonna have to try it. And here's where it all happened, a cooking in pink boots moment. When I was just about to individually wrap 40 tamales Gisus for a barbecue, I thought, what if I took a 9x13 dish, covered it with a layer of banana leaves, filled it with the red and then the white, then covered it with more banana leaves and placed it in a larger baking dish, filled that baking dish with 1 inch of water and covered it with aluminum foil to steam in the oven at 425 degrees for 20 minutes. Now, would it come out to be absolutely delicious? And it did. Thank you all so much for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed today's video of my lazy and super large tamales Gisu. When I say balutan meat and tamales Gisu, this is what I'm talking about.